Dear family and friends. We've gone through another week. I mean, Thursday night is my last nightly broadcast. We'll be back on Saturday night. But I think that it that things are good. Things are really good, and I think things are revealed in a way that I've never seen before. There was that bill about releasing the information of sexual predators inside of Congress. There were over and there were 300 votes against revealing who have used our money to fend off lawsuits. They don't want to release that information, but it's okay to cheat on elections. I mean, that's kind of like the thing. But to me, the main thing that I'm seeing is that the deep state is desperate. Hey, Paul Little, and they'll do anything. I think there was an attack in Michigan on a synagogue. They're claiming the mainstream news is claiming all these victories over Israel, all these victories over. This is just it's they're just making this stuff up, in my opinion. I don't know for sure, but it seems to me that the tone of these things, kind of like that Tomahawk missile thing, that was probably a deep state operation. It seems like to me. I don't think it was a mistake on our part. That's just my feeling. The deep state will do anything. Remember, they don't care about human lives. And hey, mommy Wolverine. So that's what I'm seeing right now. It's just a desperate deep state. The war is over to the extent that these nation states that they've forced us into in order to enslave us, this whole idea is coming to an end. I'm drinking Ethiopian. Is it called Ethiopian? Yeah, Ethiopian from Brian. Really great coffee.
No, that's White Earp.
This is Wyatt Earp. Yeah. Well, anyway, okay. So we had some Ethiopian coffee before. Very smooth, a lot of chocolatey tones. I realized something that may be obvious to you guys. Today we did a broadcast. Hey Kenzo. Today we did a broadcast on the Republic, about the Republic. And something like each time I do one of these broadcasts, a, a very like a light bulb goes off in my head, and I start to realize what may be obvious to other people. Their fate is sealed. I think so. I think they're down, and I don't think they ever expected this. I don't think they saw it coming. I think they're so arrogant. Reptiles, hybrids, sexual predators, uh, money launderers, pirates. The whole gang is going down, but they're not going down easy. They're using every last bit of ammo they have. And it seems to me that the arrests are imminent, that public arrests. I think the arrests have been going on, hooligans, but I think, hey, Ulysses, but I think that green eyed people, hey, good to be here. Good to see you. Uh, The, the, um, the deep state is desperate, right? And so, okay, so like the light bulb idea. So today when we are doing our broadcast, I realized something that maybe seem obvious, but it sounds like good coffee, chocolatey overtones. Yeah, and but it's it's very easy to drink. It's not it's not. Some of Brian's coffee can be incredibly powerful, and some are more subtle. Like the Wyatt Earp Ethiopians seem to be a little more easygoing than, well, certainly like a um, a French roast, like Night Train is a real gutsy kind of coffee. But you take your pick. Brian's got it all. So yeah, I'm enjoying the last cup of coffee for the day. We put on a lot of, we got plywood sort of on sale, so some of it's not so great. But I put plywood on the second floor of our thing, and it looks amazing up there. It was too windy to really take a video up there, but I will do it as soon as we can. We'll take a video, and you'll get to see the whole thing. You can see everything from up there. You can see all the different structures on the land, and we started digging a new place for trees. Let me get back to this realization I had today when we were broadcasting about the Republic. And again, if you want to join the Republic, which I highly recommend, here it's just republicforusa.org. I mean, it couldn't be simpler. It's just, oh gosh, it's speeding it up again on me. Okay, republicforusa.org. So here's the realization that I had today, and I had to ask, but this may have occurred to everybody else. And I saw some stunning videos today coming out. The information that I'm seeing is spectacular. But what does the Republic in essence represent? What does re-inhabiting the Republic really mean? I mean, at its base, the foundational idea is that we're switching. This is so powerful. I don't know why I didn't get it before. We're switching from maritime law, from law of the sea, where you are considered a dead person, to sovereign law of the land, where you are a sovereign person, not a citizen. Apparently that word doesn't work either. You're sovereign, and you operate under constitutional law. That's the essential difference. Now, this didn't really hit me right away, but this is such an important concept. The maritime system is phony. It's not real law. They've taken over, and most people believe that this is real law, that there are taxes, and you have to, if a policeman pulls you over, they can give you a ticket and you have to pay it, and your mortgage is totally illegal. All these things totally illegal. There's no basis in reality. It's all the matrix. It's all a matrix, and it's coming to an end. All these illicit pirates, the big club pirates, as Brian Cates, he's just, I love his posts. He's very on the money. But we are switching, and that's why everyone needs to join the Republic. Daniela called her dad, who's Navy, who's ex-Navy, a veteran, and convinced him to join the Republic. He didn't really understand why. People do not know what's going on. We have been infiltrated by the enemy, and we are under occupation. We are in a major war, probably the greatest war that ever took place on the planet. In some degrees, not in a kinetic sense. In a kinetic sense, and this is something I mentioned this afternoon, in a kinetic sense, in the idea of real war, you have to understand, or we have to understand, the enemy, the deep state, the reptilians, the hybrids, the evil ones, and their AI cronies. And I don't want to get into AI just now, but and I don't think AI is totally evil either, in my opinion. they can transfer consciousness from one body to another. So they don't essentially, we are also immortal, according to my research, according to what, I just believe that we're immortal. But they are also immortal. They also have this immortality. But what they do, the evil ones, is they transfer their consciousness. When their bodies die, they're able to transfer their consciousness into another body. So they have a continuity of operation that we don't have, because we die and then we have to figure it out all over again. We're born into a body, we forget everything we accomplished in the past lives, and we have to start all over again. And it's just, but we're waking up now. But this is what we're up against, in my opinion. So they've created this whole maritime fictional illicit legal situation. I saw also on the thing, on I saw some kind of posters. If you don't engage with them, they know they are not legal. The whole system is a farce. And now we're seeing that they're all sexual predators. The majority of Congress, both Republican and Democrats, are sexual predators. They take our money to defend legally their actions. Our taxpaying money pays for that. And they voted today not to release the information. But they're not ready to declare Maricopa County a treasonous, the election a treasonous operation. They openly cheated. They openly replaced the legitimate paper with fake paper that was not earmarked. They clearly cheated. And then they passed some law that they could use whatever paper they want. I don't know the details. But the point is that anybody who has eyes to see can see that the operation that Iran, we saw with the Iranian protests, that the fight against Iran is not against the people. It's against the deep state operating their big club pirate playhouse, their hangout, their, like the Little Rascals. They had their little place. Their we are fighting a hidden enemy that is so entrenched that it's almost impossible to see it. You and I can see it, but we've studied, we've gone down the rabbit holes. We're not afraid to break. We have, like we saw in that beautiful film last night, we have chosen to walk away from the fear, the family heirloom of fear. Like each family has their own brand and their own way of coping with it. It's like it's a family tradition. We all, like, either you see families, they're all either scientists or lawyers or doctors, whatever, or they have electricity. That their fear space, their way of escaping the matrix is, and the coping mechanism is like a family heirloom. And you and I, people on this channel, have decided to just break with the fear and just come into the promised land, come into the idea of the republic, of operating under godly constitutional law, and not the insane musings of a parasitic pirate, club. Where do I really feel this is when I'm in nature. I'm up here. I'm not dealing with rules and regulations. I'm not getting visited by the local inspectors. I'm not thinking about lawsuits or what I owe. I don't think about those things anymore. I've had enough distance between myself and the matrix. Now, once in a while, there was some kind of law passed today that says they have to, basically, that they committed fraud against the people who refused to get vaccinated, and they cut our pay, and they fired us. That there is some kind of legal thing seeming to ease its way through the courts is also in part their control. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Richard, definitely that's their control mechanism. It's and most people most people probably will never wake up and really understand that it's the fear that keeps them imprisoned. That it's literally a prison without walls. 15% that didn't take the vax, right? We didn't take, and think of it, only 15% of humanity. It was so, I mean, it was so blatantly obvious. That's why I left my community. I'm like, you guys are supposed to be the smartest rabbis. You study Torah all day. You understand the nuances of the Talmud. You understand that this rabbi said it this way, and you understand all these things, and you still volunteered to get to take the train to Treblinka to take the Holocaust shot. I mean, I was like, I'm out, guys. Well, the Rebbe said you should do what the doctor says. Well, if your doctor is an SS, these are hired guns. They're paid by the pharmaceutical company to do you in. So if you just, hey, listen, man, my doctor said I need to get the vaccine, and scream and yell as I did, I said, please don't, please. They were like, Ellie, it's no big deal. It's okay. I need to travel. I have to make a living. I'm like, it's not okay. It never was okay. You just are an ignorant piece of shit that you surrendered to the Holocaust. You didn't even fight. You didn't even try to escape the Nazis. You just went to your doctor and says, Nazi doctor, Dr. Mengele, shoot me up, man. I'm ready to go. I have to make a living. Okay, I don't want to get off on this tangent. But the real news is that there's tremendous, I said no multiple times, me too. I said the union rep was asking me on a daily basis, Ellie, get the shot. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not getting the shot. I will lose my job, and that's okay. I don't want a job that would want to kill me. I'm not interested. That's not the kind of work I do. It was a choice between my life and my job. And I totally understand this. The union rep, he was a nice guy. I'm like, you don't understand what the shot is. You don't, and it's not his fault. It's impossible for a normal human being to understand that your government is actively trying to kill you because you're a financial liability, because there are too many baby boomers that are retired and they can't finance them all. So we'll just kill them. That's really what happened. I mean, it's much worse than that, really. It's not just for financial reasons. They just don't give a shit about human beings. They're reptiles. They're hybrids. They're in the pirate club. They have children they want to eat. This whole thing, I don't want to get off on this. But this whole thing is a farm for human meat. That's basically what it is. And this whole thing is set up. Our whole society, our whole matrix is set up so that the carnivores, Congress, both members of Congress, 300 out of 400 members of Congress voted to not reveal sexual predator information about themselves. And we expect them to pass laws that are going to be good for us. Really? So the obvious choices in terms of the choices between do you engage in violent revolution or do you join the Republic? And the white hats have assured us that if you join the Republic, if enough people join the Republic, then 11.3 from the law of Manuel is activated, and the occupying force has no authority and no control over the population. It's as easy as joining the Republic. If enough people join the Republic, the occupying force has no control over the population. Why? Because the population knows that maritime law is not legal, and that a statute or an obligation or a mandate is not law. And they cannot, a policeman cannot pull you over for no reason, or even, I don't even think for speeding. If you're not actively involved in some kind of what they perceive as a criminal activity, and speeding is to me not a criminal activity. But in order to activate 11.3 in the Law of War Manual and have the white hats step in and do what they got to do, which is arrest these sons of bitches, the arrests are imminent. The desperation of the deep state tells me that the arrests are not far away. No, not the arrests. The arrests have been happening, but the public arrests, the public tribunals from Gitmo are not far away. That this is going to happen, well, certainly before July 4th. But it seems to me, from what I'm seeing news-wise, I'm seeing a flood. This is what I'm perceiving, and I don't want to have to justify myself by showing you, but I could show you. There is a flood of deep state articles on X right now. Everybody is blaming Israel. Everybody is blaming, they're saying that, or not everybody, but this wave of deep state information are saying Trump's out of his league. There's nothing you can do now. He doesn't go through normal channels. He didn't play with the game. He didn't play with the transnational maritime law game, and he's out of his league. And the United States Army is about to get defeated. What total crock of bullshit is that? And the articles are flooding out. Like we haven't been trained in the last couple of years to notice the difference between some information like Brian Cates that's legitimate versus fake information. And I just want to say one thing, and this just irks me to the core. The picture, there's a video of a guy with a black hat, a Hasidic Jew, coming out of an underneath place. I lived in that community for 25 years. There are no tunnels under there may be tunnels, but there isn't. If there was human trafficking going on in that community, and I know this is a weird thing to say, but they're not smart enough to do human trafficking. These are bumbling idiots. I mean, they're nice people. They're holy in their own way. They're committed to godliness. But the people that you saw coming up, if you saw that video, and all the deep state people are using that video as proof that the Jews are really to blame for all this. The Jews are no more to blame than the Catholics. The Vatican is a criminal organization, child trafficking to the max. The state of Israel, run by the Rothschild, whatever their name is, you know what I'm talking about, the deep state, the Iran, where the Khomeini Jr. has villas all over England and big money in England. This is deep state. It is not about people. It is not about nations. It is not about any of that. I mean, we all know this. The deep state made up all these countries in order to capture us in terms of maritime law. Like something about if you have a country, but these countries are, like the borders in Europe, they can go this way or that way. It's not legitimate. It's all made up. The whole history is made up. The whole thing is a farce. And people hold on to this farce for dear life, because if you give up on the farce, you're drifting in space. You have to take control of your own life. Not everyone's ready to do that. You have to live like a sovereign person. A sovereign person is not a slave. There's no, I don't know if I qualify as a sovereign person, but I do not consider myself a deep state slave. I know too much. Now, my friend Zachary Fisher says there are levels to this. Like, I'm not totally free of the matrix. I still have to deal with aspects of the matrix. I'm not like, I'm a sovereign dude now, man. But I do grow. I'm growing my own food. I'm building my own house. I live outside of town, and I'm more free than I ever was before. But that's not the point. The point is that everything about the deep state has no legal standing. It's maritime law. Are you a dead you the, and the maritime law considers you lost at sea. When you are born, you go through the canal and you are dead. Basically, you are dead. And that's how you're treated. They can trade your assets on the stock market, and they do, your birth certificate and all this stuff. The white hats, Eisenhower, with apparently Eisenhower was responsible for the continuity of government concept. The good guys have kept this whole thing looking like it's still operational. It is not. This thing with the banks, I'm hearing all this thing that the crypto law is about to pass, and the banks are going to like get away with they're. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's what Q has been telling us. I think the banks have to go down. Are they going to be? Is there going to be a transitional thing? Yes. Is crypto going to go to the moon? I don't see why it wouldn't. But they're doing everything they can. But Gary Gensler, some punk, gets to be the SEC chairman or involved with the SEC, and he gets to say that XRP is anyway. We're the long and the short of it is we're all switching over to X. We're all switching over to Elon's platform. I'm just waiting for next month. I'm taking all my stuff out of these robber barons, out of these things. Oh, I just got a splinter, and I'm going to put it into X. I'd rather do business with X. I'd rather deal with satellites. I'd rather deal. No, I have not been censored on X so far. I haven't made they don't give me any money, but at least I'm not censored. At least I can conduct my affairs on X. And I love Starlink. I live in the middle of nowhere, but I have great internet reception. So my plan is just to go. As soon as it opens up, man, I'm going with Elon. Elon's now saying that the future of mankind we won't have to worry about money, but this is a kind of a long-term thing. He's talking about how AI is going to take over all the grueling, disgusting jobs, and this whole bureaucratic, flatulent white lady, layer of wealth is going to be, they're all going to be out of business. And the people who'll be making money are guys who can fix your toilet, which is the way it should always have been. What's a real problem? Fixing a toilet or figuring out that you need 15% of your portfolio should be in bonds. I mean, this is bullshit. It's just absolute bullshit. Anyway, Rothschild, yeah, eats his boogers. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, they eat children too. Rothschild, what were they saying about Rothschild? Oh, so yesterday we talked about that. Since Rothschilds went to Epstein Islands, and they probably have all kinds of film about him doing terrible things to kids, that means all their assets can be seized and will be returned to the rightful owner, which is we the people. This is what it's all about. We're returning to constitutional law. We're no longer going to be operating under maritime law. We are going to be sovereign folks. I don't know what the right term is, but I don't want to say citizen apparently is not the right term. We're going to be sovereign and we will operate under constitutional law. We are not dead. Okay, we're not lost at sea. We are alive, very alive, and we want to be we want to live in a world that respects life, that where we respect each other, that we like each other, that we work together, that we could share, we could barter with real money and not debt notes, and not if you buy a house you have to go into like tremendous this whole debt system, a mortgage, which means a death certificate. My grandpa was the boss of a family construction company. He and family did just fine building locally in a small town for years. Yeah, that's the kind of thing. I mean, need to find out where to purchase XRP. You can buy XRP anywhere. I mean, I would say I would recommend Uphold. Uphold is a good platform. I you know, the, actually, if I was just starting out now, I would probably go to Kraken. I would probably, because they're a certified bank now. I would probably buy from Kraken XRP. But yeah, you should own some XRP. You should own some XLM. You should own some HBAR. You should own some Algorand. Everyone should. You should own some silver. You should own some gold. Or if like me, I can't afford gold or silver really. So I have a little tiny bit in mining stocks. I put, I figured since I don't have enough money to buy gold. I bought a few shares and saying a few, not 100 shares, like a few shares, maybe $100 worth of a gold mine. So if it goes up, if it doubles and triples, so the gold mine will also be worth more. I totally believe in investing. I think that's part of being a sovereign citizen. I also believe in investing in your health and being very aggressive with it. I'm just going to go to my thing, but uh, you can call Dr. Stacy and sign up, get some X39, get some Y age patches, which are like $60 for a month's supply of like glutathione, carnosine, and eon. Those three patches are called Y age. They're really good for you. Glutathione is a master antioxidant. It'll eat all those free radicals. Nanoparticles, I don't know for sure, but I would imagine they would. They would definitely fix up your DNA from the X39. Will reset your DNA if you got the shot. If you got the shot, but you have in my opinion, you have to be very aggressive with investing and with your health. We eat mostly like not grass fed, but meat that's not injected, meat that's not human meat. It's from cows. I mean, we buy from a small butcher. We know them very well, and I sometimes buy steak at Sprouts. There's some steaks that I'll buy from Sprouts, but we fast. We fast every morning. We eat one meal. We usually eat around 4 o'clock. We'll have a piece of red meat or a burger or something, and some. We eat a health salad every day, which is basically cabbage and sauerkraut with a little garlic, and we take care of our health. We work hard. We dig, we work all day, we are in a lot of sunshine, and we take it seriously. I don't think it's something that you can just take as a given. None of this. Will we be wealthy? Will we be healthy? Will all these things work themselves out? I believe so. I think the deep state's on the run. I think we're in the middle of a war, and that you cannot tell from the information because remember, the deep state is not limited to a country. They can operate anywhere. They can cross borders underground. They can snatch children from Haiti and send them to Iceland in 20 minutes. They have the technology. We are joining the republic. We are operating as sovereign citizens. In my opinion, and I'm not a legal expert. I just, in my own personal opinion, I don't pay taxes. I don't have insurance. I'm not interested. I numerous occasions we've needed drugs and they give it to us for like nothing. If you say I don't have insurance, and they're like, yeah, he's a nice guy, he doesn't have insurance, and they give it. The pharmacists want to do nice things. They're not everyone is evil. There's some beautiful people, and if you treat people beautifully, they generally treat you back beautifully. That's what Sparky told me. So if you want to be respected, respect everyone. If you respect everyone, they'll respect you back. That's just the nature of the divine. Now, are some people big state pirates? Do they care if you're alive or dead? I don't know. I don't think so. Doesn't seem like it. They wrote off 9/11 as as like a big insurance fraud, and they stole trillions of dollars worth of gold and everything else. These people they don't operate under any legal constraints. They do whatever the hell they want. They're criminals, big hardcore criminals, and we are just waking up to find out that the ruling class is made up by and large of sexual predatory criminals, big pirates. And a lot of them aren't even human. They're hybrids. So whatever. Anyway, we need a fair exchange for silver and gold. Yeah, I've done business when I had silver. I bought a water tank with silver and gold. I just said, listen, I don't have any cash, but I'll give you I had a small piece of gold. I traded gold for a water tank. I don't have any regrets. I need a water tank more than I need a piece of gold. I still have the water tank. It's a great tank. We're still drinking from it. But I'm rapidly upping my, our comfort zone up here. We're building a house. Is it going to be a house like anybody else, like that, like your standard house? No, it's an octagonal house. There's no concrete in it. I don't really know what we're doing for floors, but we did put some plywood down on the second floor that I've already built, which is only in part of the house. We've only really finished the back end of the house because the RV is in the front end. But as soon as we take out the RV, we'll start working on the rest of the house. But it's coming along. And as we get infrastructure, we'll probably have more people come up and we'll start to really farm up here. We're building a farm. I planted all my crops this morning. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. It brings me peace. I've already planted, like tomatoes and squash, and I realized I wanted to have some cucumbers, and we've been talking a lot about broccoli. That broccoli sprouts are really good. They help with the production of glutathione. So I planted some broccoli. Do I want to? I want to get some heirloom strawberries. I planted some blueberry bushes. We got 6 fruit trees now. We're starting to build a place for some nut trees. We're expanding this in 5 years. This place will probably have cattle and chickens and lots of people. Probably lots of people will live here. There's enough room to grow, and just because it's in the middle of the desert, so what? And the climate is changing. That's another thing. HR was at 4752, baby?
74.
74? 7452? The Senate is working on a bill to ban all geoengineering, all chemtrails. So call your senator and tell him that you want him to vote to remove these chemtrails. I continue to chant out there. They come by with the big jets and they start the chemtrails. I go outside, I start chanting, and they go away. That's been happening for the last couple of days. Now I don't know if they see me. I don't know if they're aware of it. I don't know what's going on, but all I know is that when I see some asshole spewing his heavy metals into my air, I go out and I start chanting and I point my fingers at his plane, and in the last couple of days, they've stopped. They just went somewhere else, which is not a good thing either. They, in the real world, in the ideal world, I would have the technology to shoot the fucker down. This is my air. I deserve to live too, and you're polluting my air. And the government should be protecting us in this way. They should be shooting these motherfuckers down. There's no question about it. But they are, at least these predators that run the government, they're at least responsive to our complaints, and they know that they're going to be, they've already been arrested. I think this is all a continuity of government operation, and that the White Hats have cleverly positioned the whole thing. I'm very much a Derek Johnson kind of, I believe that everything's been taken care of, except that it's not public yet. It hasn't become public. The arrests, the tribunals, and that it's coming. But the chemtrails, man, I mean, there's just no excuse for this. That the banks still want to steal our money. I don't think the White Hats are going to allow them to get away with this kind of nonsense. I don't think so. They got to pass a crypto bill. We need to have a fair exchange. Crypto will be backed by, it could be. They have the crypto that I invest in, which is XRP, XLM, HBAR, Algorand, Cardano, and Quant. They have real purpose. They will be the rails of the money system. Now, there's all kinds of, I don't really understand all of it, but basically they're saying that the banks will be responsible if for the crypto. They have to be able to back it up, but then they don't. The banks are this is the heart of darkness. This is the head of the snake, just like the Vatican, just like forces in Israel, just like the Washington. These were the three cities that the deep state operated out. These were cities that had no nation status. They were not attached to the nations. The Vatican is its own place. The city of London is its own place. Washington, D.C. is its own place. And the deep state was operating in these territories. Washington was the military, London was the financial, and the Vatican was kind of like the religious, but they were financial also. They were stealing our gold. They've been stealing our gold. Obama sent gold and pallets of cash to Iran. Was it for the Iranians? No, it's for the deep state. The deep state pretending to be Iran. The deep state running ISIS. The deep state being Khomeini and Arafat, your great revolutionary heroes, were bagging trillions of dollars and putting them into foreign bank accounts and buying big villas and everything else, and abusing children at the same time. These are predators. We're coming to understand our world. That's how I see it. And once we establish the republic, the military will be able to operate out in the open. And I think they've been removing all these bad guys from underground. I heard years ago that Galactic Federation was taking out these pockets of reptilians, that they trapped these reptiles on Earth. They forced them into one place. They all came to Earth, and then the Galactic Federation is taking them all out. Please God, I don't have direct contact with the Galactic Federation. I don't have evidence that reptiles exist. I just piece together the information as it appears on the information streams. But in my opinion, we're heading for we're involved in a heavy-duty war, that most of the kinetic difficulties, the force of evil has been removed. I'm hearing all kinds of weird reports about Israel, and I just don't believe it. I remove these people from my thought stream because I think it's a bunch of fake news. I'm seeing it, and what's my evidence? I'm seeing it on Google. Google is sending me these like news. All of a sudden, I'm getting on my computer, on my Mac, every like 10 minutes, there's another news alert. You know, Trump is responsible for shooting, for taking out a a kindergarten, this was probably a deep state operation. They have nothing left. They want to shoot up a synagogue. They don't care about people. They certainly don't care about your money or your life. And it's said, I saw this thing today. It says they just make you work so that you're too busy to notice that you're a farm animal, that that your children are being eaten. That's how this whole thing is set up. But we're waking up. We're reaching a place where we're breaking the trance, and we're waking up, and we're going to reclaim the world, and we're going to live under a constitutional government, be 1/10 of the size. We're coming into just sorrow law, in my opinion, and we're at the final stages of this horrific war, this world war against the evil deep state pirates, the child trafficking, money laundering thieves, this transnational criminal organization, as Brian Cates so aptly calls it. They're being taken out piece by piece. Trump and the White House have done brilliant work. It's like, you think they can't get any better, and then they just, and then the congressman, Congress is, I'm sure they've been executed a long time ago, but it's coming out. This story is coming out that they passed a law that the predators that run the government it can't be public knowledge, but Epstein can. It's just insane. But this is, I don't really believe this is taking place. I believe this is just the white hats revealing certain pieces of information to wake people up. I mean, if you were a normie and you just heard, wait a minute, the Congress just passed a bill so that they can't release the information about sexual predators that are running our government and getting and being defended by lawyers that we pay for. If I was a normie, I'd be like, that's pretty strange. I don't know. I don't understand how anyone could be a normie. And I mean, but there maybe they're just people that are not able to consider what's really going on. It's too much for them, and they just, but just don't tell me, if I don't know. It's like Sergeant Schultz in Hogan's Heroes. I know nothing, I see nothing. It's like, don't tell me, please. I'm a fragile egg, and you'll break me open if you tell me that that the congressmen are really hybrid reptilian. It's just too outrageous to be believed. We need a fair exchange for silver and gold. Yeah, but I think we're coming to that. Everything seems to me to be heading the right direction. The reason I got so involved tonight is to convey this message. This is the conclusion of everything that I've said. We're in a war. It's going to look insane in the next week or two, from what I'm hearing. But we're winning the war. We've already won the war, probably. Just got to hang in there and just try to stay somewhat close to sane, and just go about your business. Plant some. It's a time of year for planting. I mean, can you believe it? I'm planting in March. In New York, I have to wait till June to plant anything. That gives me months of let's see, March, April, May, June. I'm like 4 months ahead of New York in terms of planting. For me, that's reality. That's like, wow, man, I did the right thing. I moved to a place where there's tons of sunshine. There's not much water. I mean, I have to water these guys. I'm gonna develop my own irrigation system. Obviously, I have to. It took me 2 hours to water all my little babies this morning. I was like, come on, okay, the radishes have already come up. There's signs that, what did I plant with the radishes? The carrots seem to be interested. The fruit trees, the apple tree just came into bloom. The apple trees. I have two apple trees. One's an heirloom apple and one's a Macintosh. Can't wait to taste those apples. I'm looking for, there are a couple of things that I want to add to my little farm, which is like, I want more berries. Certainly want raspberries. My uncle had raspberries, which I loved to pick when I was a boy. And find some kind of strawberries that I can trust, that aren't tasteless like the ones in the supermarket. I want to get some nut trees. Probably eventually, if we're more home and we're really established here, more and more we're spending more time up here. So, and I I hate to go to town. I hate to leave the ranch, but chickens, it's doable. And then we'll have like more people can come and live on the farm and help us work and help us build different buildings and all this cool stuff, man. It's just like the future is so bright. I gotta wear shades, man. It's awesome, and we want all of you to be part of this, and we want all of you to be doing stuff like this on your own. It's I'm telling you, man, it's when we wake up in the morning, we don't like, oh, I gotta be at well, I'm listen, I have a pension, so I can't, I understand if you're younger and you have to have a job and you're developing a pension. I understand that. But yeah, it's pretty cool up here. So yeah, get your LifeWave patches, stay healthy, reset your stem cells, stay young, get your X49, get your X39, get your Eon if you have any kind of inflammation. Now, for years, I followed Dr. Stacy, and I used to chuckle like obnoxiously whenever she mentioned taking Eon, because inflammation was not part of I was not. I would be like, Dr. Stacy, I don't have any inflammation. But that was before I started building a house in the desert. Now I have backs, but I pick up massive rocks all the time periodically, and big thick logs and all kinds of lumber and stuff. So now I do take the Eon patches, which I think are brilliant. If you're still taking Tylenol, man, I mean, why? If you're still eating produce food, why? Why would you do that to yourself? We spend a lot of time with food preparation. I cook most of my food on the campfire just to save gas. I don't have to. I could cook inside, but I don't want to have to go to and buy propane every 10 minutes. So we cook a lot of things on the fire. There's plenty of firewood on out here, and we take the truck down to the lower part of the property and grab some wood and bring it up here. There's life. It's a beautiful world. It's gorgeous. Wait till I show you the what it looks like from the second floor of our Earth ship. Anyway, that's it. I just don't think I. The main message is it's going to look crazy because the deep state is being squarely punched in the nose over and over and over again. And they, in my opinion, cannot recover. They cannot escape to their dumbs. They cannot fly away. The deep state is screwed, and they're making it seem like no, it's not. They're pulling out every little bit of ammo they have left, which isn't a lot. So I mean, seeing the Google news alerts, Trump is, the tariffs are destroying the economy, oil is going through the roof. This is all a construct. This is all made up. In the past, we would have believed it. Oil is not scarce. What is happening is they want to charge you more, and they want to make you panic and make you scared. We're going back to prices from the 50s. Gas will be, you know, 28 cents, 26 cents, 25 cents a gallon. You're Everything is going to be you buy a car. My parents used to go buy a car with cash. They would say, "Okay, let's go," and they would run their car into the ground. And then they would say, "Oh, it's time to," after we would break down on the highway 15 times on vacations, that mom and dad would say, "I think we should buy a new car." And they would just go to their friend who owned, who was a salesman at the Ford place or whatever it was, and they'd buy a car for 1,000, 2,000. I don't know what they paid in those days. And that was it. And that's the way it should be. Cars shouldn't be $50,000, $100,000, 75. A new truck with every kind of computer. Yeah, sorry, baby, you don't have to like scratch around. But yeah, we live in a tiny little RV. But this is the world we're coming back to. You're not going to take out a loan to buy a car. You're not going to take out a loan to buy a house. My parents didn't have a loan on their. I think they did have a mortgage. I think my father liked having a mortgage for some reason. But $60,000 to build a new house in a fancy suburb with a good school system, with a liberal school system that taught me how to be a liberal in 15 different ways. It just after I reached a certain age, I looked around and I changed my mind. I'm a recovering liberal. Uh, my parents are liberal. My mom's still a liberal. She hates Trump. I was like, Mom, I don't think we could talk about this. So I love Trump. I think Trump is the savior of mankind. I don't really think. I think it's all a movie. I don't think it's really Trump. I don't know if it's really the man named Trump. I don't know. I don't care. I like the movie. I'm enjoying the movie, and I'm enjoying the destruction of this evil empire of pirates, these pedophiles. I'm enjoying every bit of it, and they're being taken down. The fact that they didn't want to finance or release information about the majority of congressmen are predatory rapists. They didn't want to release that information. That just makes regular people think, what? They don't want us to know that they're raping people on the side. They're taking their interns and like Bill Clinton. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so the bottom line again is things are going to look really crazy. This is just what I'm getting through all this. And we look at the information. So when I'm not building, when we eat, we are doing research. Daniela will show me what she's finding, and I'm looking at what I'm finding. And the bottom line that I'm hearing today, and I won't be broadcasting tomorrow night, I don't broadcast on Friday, is that it's going to look really crazy for a while. I don't know how long, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month. You know how these things go. We can't predict time. I'm still waiting for XRP to go to the moon. It went up a little bit, but we just have to be strong and resourceful and sovereign and not fall for we're not slaves. We don't have to pay taxes. You want to pay taxes? Pay taxes. It's voluntary. I really want to pay taxes. I really feel like, if I don't pay taxes, the roads are going to be worse than they already are. Whatever. If you have a reason you really want to pay taxes, but it's voluntary. I've seen that from numerous sources. If you want to have insurance and pay the high price, get the insurance. If you want to have good health, in my opinion, get the LifeWave patches. By the way, we will be doing our lifestyle channel tomorrow at 3:00 Eastern time. Am I right? Did I do right? 12, 1, 2. I'm sorry, 2:00 Eastern Standard Time, I think. Yeah, 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing a lifestyle channel with Norman, who has been 40 years, had his own organic food distribution business. He supplied colleges with organic food. He knows a lot about the food business, so he is like our resident expert, and we consider him like our source of information. But he is another product that he is very behind, that also produces glutathione in a different way. So if you're a glutathione freak, come and enjoy that product. It's a great product. We take it. We do that. We do LifeWave and this product. I just and we we you have to be aggressive about your health. No one's going to just like poof. A lot of people have been waiting for the med bed to come, and I think it will eventually come. But until it comes, you bet take care of your health. Why not? Be aggressive about it. We do intermittent fasting. I eat fruit and vegetables, Daniela, not so, as much, but we consider ourselves to be healthy. For us to feel like, I think I got a headache today for about 15 minutes. I had a headache. I was like freaked because I don't usually get any. The worst thing that happens to me is I sometimes, I wake up in the middle of the night for, not for, for bathroom things, but just I get, I have like anxiety attacks. They're not anxiety attacks, but whatever. Doris Cannon said, whatever. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. The point is, stay cool. Don't get freaked. We are winning. This is a war. It's not like there. Mashiach is going to come out of the sky and save you and everything will be okay. I don't see it going like that. I think this is a war for us to rediscover our own sovereignty, to rediscover our own power, to rediscover our own sense of resourcefulness, and to rediscover our dreams and to live them, to live your dreams. And that is a process, in my opinion, that should be begun immediately. If you haven't already, start researching whatever it is, and you will find, like me, when I was living in Crown Heights, totally orthodox living lifestyle, what was I thinking about? Fish farming. I got very into the idea of growing my own fish. I grew out of that idea. I realized it wasn't practical. It's certainly not, it's not as appealing to me, but it led me to the next step. It led me, and that's the way manifestation, in my opinion, occurs. That there is a force that you have a higher sense, a higher existence, and that higher existence knows exactly what you should be doing, and it will lead you. It may lead you over here and over there, but it's basically, there's a plan. We're not just operating in a world of chaos, in my opinion. It's a very wonderful world that we live in, and you are incredibly important. And when you wake up and you start to allow yourself to really become your dreams, physically do stuff. It's not just thinking about it. It's like writing stuff down, doing research on the web, talking to your friends about it. What do I really want to do? I really want to live off grid on a farm. Just start researching it. You just do something. Call your senator and complain, and just tell him, please take care of the chemtrails. It's annoying the hell out of me. This is called action. Join the Republic. Just get on the website, republicforusa.org, and join and volunteer for your state. Remember, this is an interim position. You will be empowered for 120 days while the White Hats conduct the election for GESARA election for 10%, for a government that's 10% of the size now. But they need enough people to join that to justify 11.3 in the Law of War Manual, which says that when the occupying force can no longer control the population. Now, if you're paying your taxes and you're going to your doctor and you're eating their foods and you're complying, you're And that's your decision. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Everybody's holding where they're holding. But if you want to be part of the population that the deep state infiltrated occupying force can no longer control, and you want to, you're tired of being a dead maritime asset, and you want to be a live sovereign being, an isbe, immortal, spiritual, biological entity, a human, join the republic. I'm throwing in life wave, but just take care of your health. Be aggressive about it. Be aggressive about making sure you don't eat junk. And half the stuff in the supermarket says super healthy, health food, and you look at the wrapper, and it says hydrolyzed soy protein, which is MSG, or they call it, they call MSG by 50. They have Daniela won't buy cream that has gum in it or whatever. Just look at the ingredients. If it has more than 5 ingredients, Daniela will be like, I'm not buying that. You have to be aggressive. You can't just take it for granted that, oh yeah, I'm going to the supermarket, I'll just pick up this or that. No longer. You can't do that. Hopefully soon that will be the case, or you'll be part of a farm. You'll come and move onto my land, and you'll watch the whatever. You'll do your part here, whatever it is, whatever you feel like doing. So anyway, not to worry. That's my opinion. That we should not worry, but things are going to look really, really crazy. Pizza takeout, no cooking tonight. Teeth, number one, claws. The Amish don't go to dentists. We're trying to research that, because we went to a holistic dentist. 90% of the food in the super is to be shunned. Absolutely. And it all says health food on it. Seed oils, natural seed oils. I'm like, that's killer stuff, man. Seed oils are bad for you, period. We eat mostly beef tallow as our oil. Daniela no longer allows me to even cook popcorn in olive oil. She doesn't. First of all, she's not sure she approves of corn. But if we make popcorn, it has to be in beef tallow now. Everything has to be reconsidered. If you can get raw milk, get some raw milk. Don't drink 2% disgusting, bleached out white stuff. Eat butter, eat fats. Don't be afraid of cholesterol. Your brain is made of cholesterol. What we know about and seen is the tip of yeah, exactly. Stay grounded. That's exactly right. Just stay grounded. We're going to be okay, in my opinion. Everything's going to be okay. Just go for the joy, go for a walk, hug a tree maybe. If you're a guy, find a pretty girl to hang out with. It's nature. Be natural. I just, I'm planting seeds, man. I'm putting seeds in the ground and making a partnership with them. I'm like, come sprout and we'll be partners, man. You and I'll keep you alive, and then you'll give me food, and you could multiply. You'll make seeds. I'll plant you next year. It'll be a win-win for all of us. I'm growing my vegetables right next to my fruit trees. Because there's an issue in Arizona with plants don't get enough shade. The garden I had last year, I had to put plywood on the roof of my little greenhouse because they were getting too much sun at the end of the summer. You met Tem on the battlefield, yeah? No loose energy for Archons, right? Much love. Die. That's their motto, right? Die. 90% of the food. Yeah. No cooking tonight. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So anyway, I love you guys. And Yeah, let's do a tune. Anybody have any preference? I only have three tunes I've produced so far. Ground, trust, and find joy in the small things. Absolutely. It's the little things. It's fixing things. I love to fix, just I put plywood. The plywood I put down on my second floor is treacherous. It's so thin. This I'm like, how did they get away with making this stuff? I got it on sale. So I have to take responsibility for it. But junk, uh, you know, I'll have to put another layer on top of it. I'll put some wood. Maybe I'll get some raw wood, but when I can get some money. Agriculture, horticulture is a great practice. Yeah. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate you guys, man, allowing me to do this. I don't. I used to have I used to make money on doing this, and I just got used to doing it. So I just do it but I do make money off the Lifeboy. So I totally appreciate your support, and I feel like you're getting something really valuable back because it is enlightening, it is enlivening, these patches are really will help you. New Morning. Okay, let's do New Morning. Right. It's been an awesome tonight. I've been feeling a great connection. Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, and I want to thank Daniela for she just puts up with so much because we focus our day around broadcasting, and it's not always easy because we're doing a lot of things out here, but she just rolls with it, and she's just a sweetheart. So my kudos go to Daniela as well. We all have witnessed this, so it will not happen again, right? Just another reminder, collect hit the like. Thanks, Wade. All right. So anyway, I won't see you guys tomorrow night. God willing, I'll see you Saturday night. I'm really trying to broadcast earlier. I know it's 3 hours or later in the on the East Coast, so I'm doing my best. I just it just we're getting better. I was a half hour. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. All right. So let's do the New Morning. Remember where this song comes from. I mean, I don't consider myself like I wrote it. It's like it was downloaded into me. But this came from a night. This really was the night, in a way, when I look back, that I went from really believing in the Matrix. This was in the 90s. I escaped New York in was the early 90s, and I was broken. I was broken by New York, just totally broken. And I somehow found this community in of cool people, like alternative people in, not necessarily sexually alternative, but alternative people in Georgia and Chattanooga, and Sparky Brown, my guru at the time. And Sparky said, I called Sparky. I was just like, I was just so lonely and so broken. And Sparky was just like, yeah, come on over, man. We'll take care of you. And I literally, I came there. I was broken, and Sparky met me, and I was at Sheila's house, this beautiful young woman named Sheila, and she just hell. I just needed to hold a woman for. I just needed to hold somebody. I was so lonely. I was so broken, and she just held me all night on her front porch. And Sparky was there, and he put his hand on my heart, and he says, "You're having a heart opening now. You're going to open your heart. You're out of New York. You're out of this like slavery thing." And they really gave me a heart opening. And then I met Greg, and Greg said, "You don't have to live in the Matrix. There are other ways to live." And Greg, this is Greg Whitehunt. If you ever have the time and you want to buy a great flute, that's what he does. He makes flutes. He's an engineer. He's got a degree in engineering. He grows DMT type things, and he's into like Terrence McKenna type things. But Greg Whitehunt is a great guru also. I met him, and he just said, "You don't have to live like this, man. You're throwing yourself like I just came out of New York so broken." Anyway, this was the moment, waking up on the front porch, when I felt the first wave of the possibility of freedom. So anyway, yeah, enough introduction. So let's just listen to this together.
Waking up on the front porch, Sunday at dawn. The night was hotter than hell and forever long. I can see the first light breaking through the trees. I feel the changes in the cool breeze of freedom. Freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new morning. We never saw it coming, hiding in plain sight. Banksters taking power, stealing our lives. They were looking to bury us in debt, shame and fear. But our roots grew stronger as we reached into the air with freedom. Freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new morning. With each day we're rising up in this world with the power of love, with the power of peace, the power of joy, the power of truth, and the power of freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new morning. It's a new morning. It's a new morning.
So stay frosty, as they say, but stay in your center because things are looking crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff about Israel. I don't believe any of it. Yes, there's a deep state in Israel. Yes, they're evil, but they make it seem like all of Israel. That believe me, the people have no idea what's going on, or maybe they do a little bit since October 7th. But this is a war against evil. This is good against evil, and good is going to win. We're going into the age of Aquarius finally. I mean, we heard about this in the 60s, but it wasn't really time for it to happen. But now it's about to happen. So enjoy it. Do not get freaked out. It's going to be crazy for a little while. And then little by little, it's just going to, like, pieces are going to fall into place, and we'll end up in the republic again. We'll end up without a government that's bothering us. We'll just get to live a nice life on this beautiful, beautiful earth. May force be with you. May you realize that you are force, you are Neo, you are the one, you are the savior of yourself. You do not need anyone to come down and save you. Okay, that's in my opinion, that's fake news. May May source be with you. May you be may you understand your importance in creation. If you like, you could do like me, and when they start chemtrailing, you go out and start chanting, and they go away. We have more power. They've convinced us that we are powerless. We are not. Everything you do, everything you think, everything you pursue, everything you dream about, everything you want. These are high holy things. So let's get out there. I'll see you guys Saturday night. Let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.